Hi, this is Lena from Bespoke Craft Designs. We finished my other video where I'd made two fabric pockets, and we're just finishing this inside back cover off, and then we're going to do go on to do the other parts of the cover. But I love these salvage bits. I mean, I use these bits with the writing on just to attach something else to it for firmness, so I'm not wasting anything. I can use that as well. But this bit had numbers on it, and there were all the colours that we would use. I actually cut off the little bits. I better can't find that now. There was a little tiny, well, I didn't cut it off, tore it off. Little tiny bit of actual material, and I just tore that off. It was like it's got all leaves on it. It was really pretty. It was only a tiny piece, and I've torn that off, but it's left me with these numbers. So I want to put these numbers, just, I don't know why, I just want to put those numbers down there. So I am just going to snip these off and just glue that down. So that's just my first job before we go on to do anything else. I better not put them on my table because I shall get bogged down with stuff on my table. So I'm just going to put those down there, and that really brings in most of the colours. There's a grey in there that I haven't particularly used, but I've used most of the other colours in there because they're sort of autumny colours. So I just thought that was really quite nice and effective, and it's just another way of, you know, using up all your bits and pieces. Just put whatever this, I don't want glue where I haven't got the thing, so I'll just put it there so I can see what I'm doing. I just like to look for ways to use up all the bits that you've got. I'm not saying I don't buy stuff, because I do, but I buy a lot of things from the charity shops that other people have given away and that I can repurpose them. Actually, I went to the charity shop to take some things yesterday, and I've been doing out my cupboards because I've been you know, I'm having a new kitchen in, and I've been doing out my cupboards, and although I'm getting more cupboards, I'm getting rid of a lot of stuff. But you know, my daughter said, you never use half these stuff, why don't you just downsize some of it? So I thought, yeah, I will. So there was quite a lot of good stuff, a lot of glass and a lot of sort of party things that we don't have big, well, these days you can't, but we don't have big parties anyway. So I thought I'll let some bits go. And I walked round the charity shop and I didn't buy a thing. So I was real proud of myself. Yeah, so that's that, the inside cover done. I'm going to look at the front cover next. Now, I'm still on with this, which is what I've used on the inside back cover, but I think I'm going to do it as like a tuck spot on this side, so you can tuck something in. So I need to cut it down, and I ought to do it with the pinking shears again, just because it's been pinked anyway, and if I don't, I might find that it does fray. I haven't seen how much this one frays, and I haven't sewn this one. I'm just going to cut this down a little bit. Very stiff, these scissors, for me to... Oh, and then I've got a nice little bit left, look, that I can put somewhere. So let me have a look how... If I do it that way on that edge there, I'm still leaving the end bit here that I had originally, that's from the front cover. I had this salvage edge with the tassels on. I still want to leave that showing, but I want this piece to go over just slightly and meet up with those tassels. So I want it to go to there, but it won't be glued because it'll have nothing to glue to. So let me look where I'm going to do this. I have got a rotary cutter, but the only problem with using my rotary cutter, it isn't, you know, it hasn't got a pinking shear edge. I think you can get them, but I haven't got one. I've heard that somewhere that you can get them. I think, I don't know how deep I want this. I'll do it there, I think. So if I just do that for a start, let me just see if I can do this in a relatively straight line. I don't cut very straight, I'm afraid. It's amazing how wonky you can go, just, you know, if you're using that length of your scissors, but it's still very possible. That's it. I'm not going to worry too much because it'll have a bit of lace on the end. Yeah, so yeah, I'm going to put that down there. But as I say, I just want it to go up to there. So it's just going to be glued at both ends. Let me get rid of those, get them out of my way, and glue this at both ends. I'm trying to download some videos because I've been doing quite a lot of videoing since I've managed to get my desk back, but for some reason, because they are quite big, it's clogged up me memory again, and it won't let me look at them, it won't let me do anything. It's saying I've got enough storage on my iPad, so I don't know. And I got my son to sort it out last time, and he's pressing buttons here, there and everywhere, and in between he's muttering, oh mother, what have you done this time? And I still didn't get an answer to what I'd done wrong. And he just said, do this, and he's that blooming quick. I ain't a clue what he did, but it worked, and it was wonderful. But then for weeks after, I was having to sign into everything because he must have cut me out of everything. I don't know what he did. Anyway, I could then video and I could then look at things, but I look like I've done whatever I did the first time. I've done it again, and I don't know what it is. I don't know what I'm doing. All I need is somebody to tell me what I'm doing wrong, and I won't do it again. But as I say, they don't know enough about what I'm doing, so they just, you know, retrieve the memory, I suppose. I don't know. I wish somebody'd retrieve my memory. Oh dear. I think that's well and truly gone in the iCloud. Right, so that's down there, and I've just got a pocket there. Obviously that needs to dry a bit before. So I haven't put loads and loads of lace on here, but I have put bits of lace on. But I'm looking at this beautiful picture from Edith Alden, which is the front of each of my signatures. And it's got the bluey green in, and obviously all the different colours of the green, and the dark, it's like a darker green. And then all the browns and the greens, all the autumny colours. And I'm just looking, have I got in these bits of salvages, have I got something? I mean, they're a bit too blue, I think. But that again has got, on this one, it's got the lovely leaves on there, but the leaves are slightly different. They're more of the blues and the purples. But I do love these salvage edges, I've got to say. Oh, that was a nice one. That's browns and greens, look. Oh, that goes really well there. But then would I want that on there? Oh, I like that on there. I'm not actually doing that today. I'm doing this front cover, but oh, I like that one too. Just wonder if I put a bit of that down there. I like that. That's the trouble when I'm doing this off camera. I'm flitting here, there and everywhere. Yeah, so I like those. What else have I got? I've got some of this real heavy stuff. No, I'm not keen on that. It's a bit too heavy looking. What's this one here? Oh, that's a nice bit. I've when I've done it on the sewing machine, because it was quite thin, it's sort of taken on a life of its own and gone sort of round and about. It's not stayed in one straight line. But now what I've done, I think it's because it was so thin and I maybe pulled it. Oh, that's that piece I was on about from the other bit of the selvage. I do like that. I could always do a ruffle. Oh, I could do that ruffle on there though for that. That's a good idea. When I come to do that, I'm going to do that as a ruffle on there. And I've now decided I'm going to use this one then down here on that edge. I'm going to use a bit of this. And what this is the ruffle with the wording on, what I just said to you. If you've got any of this and you've cut it off and you think, well, you can't use it, you can use it as a support piece to put another piece on like this, you know, because if this is a bit thin and you want it a bit thicker, depending where you're going, and you can just sew the two together without doing a ruffle. If you're doing a ruffle, then one thickness is enough, but if you just want it to be a little bit thicker so it takes the glue, so the glue doesn't come straight through, that's what I tend to do. I use these bits. I've sewn that straight down. It's not ruffled at all, but the glue, these two are sewn together, so this will be firm enough, but the glue will stick to here and it won't show through. That's my idea anyway. And so I've done it like that because sometimes the glue shows through one thickness and I don't want it to show through when you're using it as a decorative piece. So I'm just going to cut this off here and cut it a little bit longer because sometimes I like them to stay on. Oh, move that piece out of the way. So yeah, when I have my sewing machine out, if I've got any bits that I just see hanging about, well, anything in my way, when I've got my sewing machine out, just gets sewn. It's just, you know, I don't sew for ages, and then when it's there, it's everything inside gets sewn, because then I can put it away. Not that it's far away from me, it's actually next to my heels or side of my foot, so it's very close to me. I've got I've been in a real dilemma about Halloween this year. I don't know what they're doing round here. We live in an area, there isn't many children just round here, but the estate's just near us. They usually come, and I love the children to come, and you know, the little ones. I don't like it when the big ones, not the real big ones, come and they start doing naughty stuff. I'm not into that when they're throwing eggs at the windows and things. We don't get many of them now, but we have over the years. But the little ones that, you know, that really enjoy it and that the faces light up, when I always used to dress as a witch and go to the door with my broomstick and dress as a witch, and always used to have spooky music on, and you'd hear them giggling in the street and saying, "Oh no, you go, I'm too scared to go." And I used to love it, and the mums would be waiting and smiling, and it just reminded me of when my children were little, because we didn't do anything like that particularly. Right, so that's down, and then I don't know whether I'm going to put another pocket on here again. I might do that on there. I'm just going to leave that to dry, and I can have a think about that while I look at this front. Well, the whole cover. So I want something over the spine. They're my signatures, 3 signatures in, and I love the colour I've used there. And part of me thinks, do I leave that as it is, or do I cover it up? But I think I'm going to cover it up. I don't know what with. What have I got here? I've got some of this. I don't know. Do I just want a little piece of that down that middle? I love the flowers in that. I love that sort of beigey colour, which goes with the original. Could use a bit of that. Almost. It's not quite, but it's almost right length. I could. Oh, that rain. I could use a little bit of that. Let me just move that out the way though so I can see what I'm doing on the front cover. Now I know what my main piece is on the front cover because I've made this. This I'm going to call it a fabric belly band with a difference. So I've made a belly band basically with a pocket in it. See, that's a fabric belly band. So when it's stuck down, you'll be able to tuck something under there. And then in my pocket, I've got my pen or my pencil in there. So you've always got a pen handy when you're journaling, because obviously I never have. I can never find it. I've got different ideas for how I can do that as well, but I just thought this was quite a good idea. I like my pen on the front like that, and then it doesn't intrude inside. So I quite like that. So I've made this up. So I definitely want that on there. And I'm just wondering if I've put that piece on that I've said I'd have that. Would I have that under it like that? Possibly under there. Let's just have a look at that and see what that would look like. I mean, I knew I was putting this on, but I haven't decided what else I'm doing yet. Now I did have, this piece I was doing something yesterday and I said this was really thick and I don't know what I'd use it for. Well, I've got to use it, so it's going to go there somewhere just because I've got to use it. So that's going there. I know that much. Right, so I want that piece with the smaller pink flowers and the brownie coloured flowers on. So if we just cut this here, just give this a little nip here and just tear it down. Hopefully it's going to tear, yeah. Oh, I got a real lovely smell then from when I washed it, of the wash powder still in the fibres. That was lovely. Yeah, so that'll go on there like that. And I think I might leave that on that back. I don't know because I'm not sure what I'm doing on that back. Yeah. So yeah, so I do like that there. Got some fibres coming off it. That's it. Now I'd have to do that a little bit further. And then my spine's not... Oh yeah, my spine would have them little flowers and a bit of that. I want that to be sort of in the middle. Yeah, so I like that. I'm going to have that little piece. It'll have to be glued down a bit because it wouldn't come up for me to take it, to take it apart. It was very firmly sewn down, and I couldn't find the sewing without pulling all the threads apart. Yeah, so I really like that, and then just tuck some bits in there. So I like that. Do I want anything else on there? I'm not quite sure. Oh, before I go miles away, I need to think about my closure, don't I? Yeah, I nearly went off then, and now I've got some buttons here that I wanted to use as my closure, but it's disappeared. Yeah, so I fancy using, this was just off a cardigan, and it's got this sort of patch with a hook on it, and then I've got a button with some of the thread because these tied together, and I really like that on there. So I think that looks superb on there. I was having a dig about with all my bits that I'd so this was from a charity shop, and I bought it mainly, I mean, well, I love all the material. It's got like this open weave on it, and so I do use that as well. So I need to just, so that's basically the front. I'm just going to take this off just so that I can see how that works on the back. So that would be my button there, and then if I turn that over on the back, I'm thinking of putting that there, and then one would loop through there and it would tie down the middle. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I do like that. I'm just making sure you can see exactly what I'm doing there. Yeah, and I do like the colours in this on here. I know there's a bit more pink, but you do get pink in autumn as the colours are changing. I do like the pink. I really wanted to incorporate a little bit of this because I do love this. And I think that's just going to be with a bit of a ruffle. Because I've got these ruffles. But then I'm looking at that and thinking, do I need something on there? I quite like that, just with a bit of the ruffle over that. I like that idea there, because I wasn't going to do too much on the back, but I quite like that. So do I go with that? And I'm just looking down here. Do I want a little bit? I've cut some of the lace off. I've just got this piece here, so it's got like a real thick ruffly bit with which I've used, and then it's cut this piece off. So this is the piece I've cut off. I think I might put that. I'm going to cut. You can see how it's if I cut this off, you'll see how thick it is just on that piece there. It's sort of doubled because it was a thick fabric anyway, and they've doubled it over, and it's exceptionally thick. The other thing I've got, of course, is the material that was in the middle. This lovely material. It's like a real open weave. I like that too. But it wouldn't look right on there. But I do like a bit of this. I think I might put a bit of that just on there because I love the colours. But I'm just going to cut this end off because I can't be doing with that thick bit on there. We'll find somewhere for it. It's a lovely corner piece. Actually, just looking at that. This is what I do. It takes me forever because I look at pieces and think, oh, I could put that there. I could put that there. So let's decide. I'm going to do this. I'm just going to cut this down. I'm going to cut it down with pinking shears and just stop a bit of the... Do I just want a little bit like that, or do I want the bigger bits? I'm going to go with the bigger bit on there. And I think I'm going to put... Oh, it's lovely. It frays lovely, this. I'm just going to try and fray it again. Just get some of those frays going. I really like that. Oh, yeah. And I'm going to stick that on there. And I'm going to use that little piece right on that corner, I think. So that's the back done. So we'll do that. We'll do this part of the spine first and get that done. I like that. So yeah, we're coming to that. So that's just... I'm going to take a lot of glue this because the material's just soaking it all up. If I get this on first, it'll be easier for me to cover the spine. I mean, I love Fabri-Tac for this. I just think it's, you know, it's the best I've come across. Well, it's not Fabri-Tac, it's 3-in-1, but it's the same difference. It's same smell, does exactly the same, but cheaper, slightly cheaper, but it's still made by Beacon. So I don't know whether it's just the different areas call it something different. I don't really know. And as I've said many times before, and I'll bore you, is sometimes I get Fabri-Tac, because I get it from Amazon. Sometimes I look at the cheaper of the two. And there we go. That's it, that's well down, nice and smooth. And then I think I'll put the back one on where I want it and then size it up with the front one to make sure I get it as level as possible when I put the front one on. Because I'm doing the back first, I'll do it that way. Now, I don't want the glue coming through all these holes. I think all I'm going to do is actually glue down where the patch is, because that'll hold it enough, I think, because we're not going to be pulling at it. It should just be strong enough to hold. I mean, it holds very strong. So, but I'm going to have to put quite a lot on, because this material on top of the patch is sort of needs gluing as well. So I'm just giving it a really good do. There we go. So I might cut a bit more of that off. I can now. Now I can see where this is going. That has come through a little bit, but I am going to be putting this over the top. I want to be able to see this effect. And you see, this will help glue this down, but I think I'm going to take just a little bit off. I wonder if I do it with it. Being as I've got them, I might as well use them. I don't always, well, I haven't had them before, so I haven't been able to use them because I can't find my others. I bet I've got them put away in a box somewhere with all my mum's. I can't imagine I've given them away, because I'd know I'd use them if I had them. Anyway, I don't know. So I'm just going to glue that bit down, because this is going to cover it. Now I've got some new ones now, so I just don't like I'm always misplacing stuff. I never know where anything is. And while we've been upside down with all the alterations, it's been horrendous. I can never find anything. I don't know about you, but it sends me scatty, absolutely scatty. Right, so let's have a look. There we go. That's stuck down. I mean, it'll take a while to dry properly, but it is stuck down. And then I'm going to put this little piece. As I say, it is really thick. But this is the beauty of junk journals, because you get to use all these bits and you're not throwing them away. They're not going in landfill, or, because, you know, nobody else would probably want this. What would they do with this little bit? And that's what I like. I like to be able to find. That's what I fell in love with about junk journaling, is that you could use, I mean, I wouldn't say mine are all junk, because they're not, like the original junk journals, I suppose, were. I mean, when I first watched one, it was literally all bits of, you know, packaging and receipts and I mean, and then I've looked at all the sort of more modern ones when I first started and thought, oh, I like that idea as well, you know, incorporating a bit of both. So that's what I do. I mean, I call mine a junk journal because I'm getting a lot of stuff that other people have considered junk. They've thrown it away, you know, and I'm recycling it, repurposing it, but it's not junk as in, you know, I do have some packaging, do use some packaging, and I use all sorts of bits, but it's not fully that. I do use digital kits as well. I've put that the wrong, oh, goodness me, I've put that the wrong way round, but I've put that much glue on it now. Oh, for goodness sake, Lena, look at that, I've done that the wrong way round. Oh, well, I'm going to cut that end off. I don't like that end hanging over. I don't think that looks right. Can I do anything with that? Can I put it that way and dry it? Oh, I can maybe do it. I can still use the glue on that. For goodness sake. probably need a bit more glue now because I've faffed about. Let me find, where's the clips? Let's have a couple of clips on here just to clip this down. Yeah, probably will need another bit of glue, but we'll hold it down and hope that it grabs. I'd moved it, so I'm not sure. Yeah, I wanted the tassel bit that I've just made the tassel at the end, you know, the frayed bit. So I'll use those bits as well. I'm just trying to find a little pot to put them in. Goodness me. Right, let's have a look. So that's as far as we've got so far. And I do like that. Right, let's have a look at this. Let's do the spine now. The only thing with this, with using fabric like this, you do use an awful lot of glue. I've nearly used a full thing of Fabri-Tac by the time I've, I mean, it wasn't full when I started, but it was, oh, that's not the right one. I've left the lid. I've got one that's got nothing much in it. I thought that felt light. Nothing much in it at all. And then I've got this one here, so I'm just going to make sure I go. I do like this colour though of this thread that I've used. I think I actually said I was doing a 2 signature, and when I went to put them in I thought, no, I've actually got room for 3 in there. I'm going to stick a 3rd one in, and I'm not going to be too naughty this time, because if you fill it before, like I was making in the last one, I was filling a lot of the buckets and whatever before I'd actually sewn them in, you get them that chunky and big, whereas if you sew them in, so you're obviously a bit more controlled and you know what you've got then, and you know what you're dealing with. So I'm just squeezing that. Well, this cover, even though it's got a bit of card inside and these lovely thick, it's still very squishable. I do like this squishable journeys journals. Oh, goodness me. Right, so let's make sure I get this the right way up. That would be just, I've done that a few times, believe me. Right, let's just see where this is coming to. It's coming to there. So I've got a bit of a mess going on there. So. Sorry about the silence and the bone bit. I mean, this is just takes so much concentration. Putting this glue down. I just went all quiet all of a sudden. I'm sorry. I don't know why. I was thinking about my next process. I haven't glued that right to the end because I'm just not quite sure. Just making sure this is well and truly distributed on that, and that it is going to stick. And it is going to stick down that spine. But I might take that bit off. I'm not sure yet. I'm just looking at this. So it doesn't really matter. It just would save me a bit of glue. There's no point in gluing it down if I'm going to take it off. But no, I think it does need gluing down. Because what we said is I wanted this under. Yeah, I just wasn't sure how far that was coming across. I'll do a video making some of these. I mean, they're pretty, you can, you know, anybody that does anything like this would be able to just do it from there. But I'm gonna make some more because I really like them. They're lovely for, because I've got a few more covers to do. I've got an idea that I want to do for a Christmas one with it, with that sort of thing in mind. So, because it's from a Christmas journal, so. we go. And then I'm going to put, oh, do I need this down first? Possibly. I could take the pencil out. I don't need the pencil in for a minute while I'm just deciding to glue this. So I'll glue this bottom bit down on this bottom here. So this will need clamping just to get it to take. And again, I do put quite a lot of glue on. So I'm just looking what size things I want. I might go with my big ones actually. I might just go with these real big ones. These are quite good. So we'll get them on there. I think I've only got one more out. The others are in my binding box for when I'm putting my signatures in. So, and then obviously we can then work on what we're going to put inside there. I'm trying to see how long I've got left. I'm not sure. Right, so let's just put this down. Yeah, so I've just put the clips on. Video just went off just as I was putting the clips on. So I'm just going to have them so they'll clip down on there just to hold that down. And I'm just now deciding whereabouts, oh, let me take that piece out there. So I'm just now deciding whereabouts I want this button to go for this tie. So I want it to go there like that, but I don't want it to be in the way. It does stand off a little bit because it's got this cord in it which matches the piece on the back, and it's sort of like a hook system. So I'm going to have one through there and the other one over the top and tie the two together there. That's my idea, I think. I think what I will do probably when I've glued this on is tie that in a knot on there, and then they'll go through there. So I really like this idea. This is just, again, using things that you've got. I mean, I'm not going to probably get another one of these, but, you know, if you look around in charity shops, you can just find some fantastic things, you know, like toggles on jackets and coats and things. I mean, they're great for doing anything like these on the closures. I mean, they're very bulky. Right. So, you know, they're no good for inside the journal, obviously, but for the front cover, they're fabulous. So, which way around do I want? I just want to get as much of this on here, because obviously that's going to be the belly band. But you can go in from that side. There's no problem. I just want to get my buttons set up, and again I'm going to have to nip this with something because this is heavy and it's not going to just take. I've actually caught an inside cover here as I've been doing this, so I'm just going to have a look, because this one I think would be the better one to do this. Let's see if I can get that. I think that's better on there, yeah. And let's just get this. I've just caught my front signature cover, but I would think that's probably, yeah, that's down enough. I think that's fine now anyway. So I've just got that caught now. I'll put these back so they're out the way a minute. Oh, coming out my little cupboard. So yeah, that's a really strong clip. That should hold that down lovely. And then I've just got to decide, I want a little, or that little piece of that on there, just because it's spare. Excuse me, I'm just having a drink. yes, I want that little piece on there just because it's spare. But I'm going to have to glue it down to itself a little bit as well. If any bits do... Oh, look, little bits peeling off now, look. So, because it is very chunky, this. It's been like folded and folded again. But I couldn't seem to get it apart without cutting the actual thing. I wonder if I can just cut that piece. It's just because it is so thick. I mean, I'll use that in something else. So that's given me 2 more little bits there, look, that I can use. It does just get a bit ridiculous, this saving everything, but my daughter gets quite worried. She says, "You're a hoarder, Mum." I said, "No, I'm not. If you see people that really do hoard and it is, you know, terrible, there is people out there that can't part with anything, and it must be awful. I just don't like waste. I just don't like to see it all going to landfill. You know, there is a bit of a difference." That's it. I've cut that little bit off. It is still very chunky, but I've had to cut that off because I got carried away talking and I've just been chopping away, which I said I couldn't do originally. But what I didn't want it to do was fray everywhere. That's why I didn't want to cut it all down. I didn't realise it would do that. I have managed, because I couldn't get it off by just picking it off with a, you know, a needle pick thing. I couldn't just get it off, but I've managed now to just thin it out a bit, and I like it. Looks better on there, not so bulky. So we'll have a bit of glue on that piece. Which way around do I want that? That way probably. Just get that down there, like that, and I'll probably knit that up again just for a few minutes. These are quite big, these clips though. Whoops. So they're ideal for when I'm sewing in the signatures. Yeah, so we've got to look at something to go in there, or what's going to go in there. I know my pencil's going in there. So on the next video I'll make some ephemera to go in there and something to go underneath, because I shall be doing some ephemera for filling in the book. So while that's drying and I've got it all clipped up, I can come back to this one. So I've got as far as getting that down there. What do I put on here? So then that's stuck now and it's quite dry. I don't know whether I think I want a little bit more fabric on there. I don't know whether to do like just a little cluster on there. They're the bits from the other cluster that I did. I might do that. I don't know, I'm just messing at the minute. I'm not saying I'm going to use all this, I'm just messing. I'm not sure what I'm going to put down this edge. Let me have a look in my, this is my bag of all my odds and ends of ribbons and bits. What's that? Oh, that's like a robe. I don't want that, that's a bit thick. They're a bit too red. I want something more autumny. Oh, that's very nice. What's that? I could use a bit of this. Oh, that actually, that is a dried baby wipe. How you, you know, when you've got all the inks and things on them, and I always keep them, the ones that haven't got glue on. Oh, they are lovely. I love those in, well, in sort of clusters, in, you know, little bits of fabric together. Now I keep all these things off packaging, these sash bits, you know, the ribbon bits, and then I make a lot of my clusters on those. I was just trying to see, you actually see what I'm delving through here. I'm just looking, I've got a bit of nice ribbon there. It's a bit of gingham. This is a bag of all sorts of bits from when I did my card making. Yeah, nothing in there on this occasion that I want. Oh, found a bit in there for me Christmas journal. Amazing, isn't it, when you're going through. That's sort of got the burgundy colours. I don't know what I'm doing yet. I'm just pulling out some bits that I could use. I wanted, oh no, it's not. I wanted something just to work with. Oh, I've got some of that trim, but it's white. It hasn't been coloured at all. What's this? Let's just have a look what I've got. Oh, a bit more Christmas going on in there. That can come out. Go in my Christmas bag. What's that one? That's a butterfly. No, I don't think there's anything in there that would do any more in there that I'm interested in. I was just looking at these greens, to be fair. Oh, I have found something amazing. You turn it over, you say, oh, that's no good, and then I found some really lovely green trim there. Look. That's a leaf. I was looking to see if I'd got any kind of a flower in here, but I've only got one of those. I don't know whether that's any good. Let's just have a look. I don't think that leaf. I do have leaves about, but that one's not really very good. Just to put something on here. Right, so I've got lots of bits there. I can surely make some kind of, oh, I don't want those, all those ribbons. Well, that's not a bad, I don't think I want a ribbon on it, but it's not a bad colour, that. I don't want ribbons. Bows, I mean. Got some ribbons. Just wanted to make like a little clustery bit up here, I think. But I do like this trim that I think I'm going to put, oh yeah. Oh yeah, I like that. That was just a last minute find. I really like that on there. And it brings in these colours. Yeah, I like that. I don't know whether I'm just looking to see if I've got anything that I can make a little clustery with. I don't want the blue. Don't think I actually want that bubbly stuff. It's just amazing how much you get. I do like the idea of using that piece of napkin though that's been stained. I like that. This is beautiful, this ribbon, like crinkled ribbon, it's lovely. I'm not sure it's going to go on there though. I need something else. Don't like the flower. Don't know. I like that. Something else on it, but I don't know what. Just looking if a bit of this underneath, not as big as that though. Cut a bit of this napkin-y piece down. Let's just try that. Let's just cut this napkin-y piece down. Put that on there, that's better, smaller piece. I'm not sure I want the start white. I think that's where I'm going wrong with this start white. Right, let's have a bit of this in here. This is this, well, this is where it's got this on the edge. I think I might put a bit of that down there, but only a bit. I don't want much of this. This does fray, so Let's have a look. Let's just take a piece off and see if we can play with this. I'm going to free it a bit first and just see what this does. I'm going to cut that down if I need to. I think I might put that there like that, and I might put that little bit on there like that. When this is frayed down, now I just want a bit of something on that middle. I could use a bit of that green. I like the idea of the different greens pulling in with the leaves. I wonder if I do that and see if I've got some flat buttons there. With it just being the inside front cover, it wouldn't be too bad. Or I might just look for a couple of green buttons and go with what I've got there. Yeah, I think I've made my mind up. I think I'm going to look for some buttons, if I can find my button. Right, I'm back. I'm just, so to save you watching me thread a needle, I've got three nearly unthreaded it then. I've got 3 layers of, sorry I went quiet because I'm just looking where it is, yeah. I've got, I just had a bag at the side of me with just lovely the colours in that I wanted. So I've chosen 3 colours, one of each of those, and it's just that that's where my cottons are, because I want to sew. I'm going to hand sew this piece here, and I'm also going to sew some buttons on. So I went in my stash of buttons, and I've got some brownie ones, I've got some cream ones, and I've got some green ones. And then this bag, oh, I've spilt these out. Oh gosh, I've spilt the brown one out. They were in this real crinkly paper, and I thought rather than me try to use them in there, I've just used some in the bags that were on the side. And this was an oddment of bits and pieces, and this is what gave me the idea. I found these. I'm not going to use these because they're too thick for this occasion. They are quite thick and they'll be bulky, but they've got like, I think it was a bracelet. They've got like cotton running through them, or threads running through them, and I thought they would look quite good. In fact, I think there is one. I think there's what? Yeah, there is. There's one here, look, and it's lovely. It's got like colours. Oh, you never get the camera just where I want it. Yeah, it's got like colours running through it, really lovely, and it's got some of the threads in it as well, but I think they're going to be too thick. I do really like them, but and I just looked at that and thought, I really like that, but it's just so thick. So I've got some, it's just a mixture of bits here. I think this is bits I've used before. Yeah, it's another one I've done, but okay, they're no good. So I'm just looking. I wanted a darkish green one. Yeah, that won't look too bad, but it's a bit big. Let's have a look. I've got a square one there I like. Let's have a look. Oh, I've got a tiny one here. Let's have a look at that little tiny one in a green one. Quite like that. I'm going to go with some different colours. Another square one there. I do like the square ones. I'm going to sew this together first. So just give this a quick, nothing special because I'm not a sewer, so it won't be anything special. But I just thought it might be a bit of a different idea. So I'm literally just going back on myself, and as I say, I'm sewing like a back stitch just so that it can be seen, and it's going to hold everything together. Actually see what I'm doing. As I say, I am no sewer. to love sewing at school and was quite good at it at school because, you know, if you like a subject then you tend to be better at it. So it was one of my better subjects at school. And as I say, in my 20s, I had a sewing machine and I had a play at making stuff, but it didn't really, it bored me a bit. My mum used to make clothes when we were younger, so she got me a sewing machine. And it went away for years, and then I had it serviced, and I got it out when I fell pregnant with Lee, my eldest, and I made a lot of his bedding. What's the matter? What's the matter with you? Oscar's talking to me, sat next to me, and he's telling me something. I think actually he's telling me he wants to go out. Yeah, I think he is. Are you wanting to go out? Yes, you are. Right, just bear with me 1 minute. Right, I'm back. That was Oscar just telling me he needed to go out. We are actually going out shortly. We're going to do a bit of shopping. So we don't sort of go very far. I meet up with my daughter out and about. We meet up and walk the dogs together while we can. Right, so I've just done a bit of a straight stitch there. I hope I don't have to stop again to thread my needle. That's going to be a bit of a nuisance. Right, so I do like that just as it is, but I'm going to put some buttons on. So I do like a brown one. I'm going to put one of these brown ones, but I'm just looking first before I jump in. I'm going to put a little one, I think, and then a brown one there, and another brown one there. Do I want any green ones? Do I want a square one in between? Don't know whether that's an overkill on buttons, but I do actually really like that. Oh, I do like that, but I liked that one as well. That one was quite nice. Do I want that one there? And then I don't think the green one looks right with that one there. Oh, I did like the green though. I like the green better. See, I always find it hard to not put green in everything because green's my favourite colour, so yeah, I'm going to go with that. I like that combination better. I'm going to go with that, I think. I can put my buttons away. I'm sorry, they're going to be just in view a bit. Right, so I think I'm going to need some more. So I'm going to take them off and put this little teeny one in. Oh no, I've gone the wrong. If there's a wrong way to do it, I will do it. Nobody does it like me. Right, so, oh, you're back. You're back. Hello. Are you settled now? Oh, yes. Are you going to settle down now, Oscar? When you've got to go, haven't you, Oscar? Eh? Oh. That's my phone. Other device telling me something. My phone. Don't know what that's telling me. Yes, I've got one there. Now I think I put that one there. This cotton is not going to do this full piece. So that's going to be very annoying. Oh, don't put your fingers in the process, Lena. I mean, I could have just sewn a little bit of thread through these and stuck them down. But I'm actually sewing them on just because I'd got my needle and thread nearby, and I've done that with needed to. Do that there. Binding the hole. It's getting shorter because it's pulling the other. Oh yeah, I'm going to have to pull it tight to get it through. Oh dear. Oh, what a bit of bodgy sewing, Lena. Yeah, so that's about as far as I'll just get away with M3. I think that's what I'm going to do, just because I've run out of thread, and I quite like the bit of the sewing that I've done showing as well. Oh, sorry for the crinkling. I can never open these bags, but I was just trying to put them back. Actually, put them in that open one. Yeah, why didn't I think of that? Right, so I'm going to be gluing this down so it's fine. Because it's Halloween tonight, as I said earlier, and I don't know what everybody else is doing. I'm not sure what's happening around here. I've got my grandson, who's in town, who's about 11 miles away. I'm going to deliver him. I've already arranged that. I'm just going to pop it on the doorstep. I'm going to deliver them a little pressie for Halloween. He gets a little bit more in his. He's got I've got him a Pudsey jumper, and he won't be watching this, or anybody else won't be watching this, so it doesn't matter. And not sweets particularly, just I got him some little cars and a little mask. He's going to or he was supposed to be going to an Halloween party. I don't know now how that'll work. It's an outdoor thing, I think, so I'm not sure. I'm a bit confused with it all at the minute. I just know we're not seeing many people because we're not comfortable with it at the minute, so we're volunteering ourselves to be just sort of isolating. I mean, we have had some work done, so we've had a couple of workmen in, which we've had to do before we knew, when things were just on whatever it is, the lower tier. But luckily it's finished, so we'll just go back to us two now. Right, so I just want to, but what I was going to say was I am delivering my little lad next door, just delivering him some sweets, and little boy across the road who always shouts hello to me, because he would normally come round with his little costume on and show us, so he doesn't do a full sweep, but he goes to just a few people round here. And little lad next door is 12, but he's come to me every year, so the three of them, I've just done them up a little goodie bag, really, just to show them I haven't forgotten them, even though they can't come. I think little boy across the road, he'll just be outside anyway, shouting to me, showing me his costume, because he'll still have his mask and his costume on no doubt. Can't talk. Yes, I do like that. I don't know where this, don't know what that is. Something's come off somewhere. Oh, it'll be a slider off one of those bags. I couldn't work out what it was. Right, so what do you think to that? Looks, it's a good job it's not the colours of the traffic lights, because it does look a bit like a traffic light effect, but I like it. I'm going to cut that off slightly longer so I can decide. I do like things to just hang over. So yeah, I really like that. I'm going to take these off now and just see what everything looks like, because I've more or less done. So I've got a lovely big pocket there. Got this lovely trim on this edge and that little bit there. Don't know what you'd call that, just a bit of an embellishment really. Maybe a snippet, I don't know, not a snippet, cluster. Yeah, there. And then this is the front. So this has got the belly band on the front, and it's got me pencil in at the minute. So that's the front. That's the front inside cover. That's the back inside cover with 2 pockets. I really quite like that. Yeah, I just need to find some kind of a charm to put on there, I think. And then that's the back, which, as I say, isn't overly embellished. It's okay, but it's not overly done. It's just a little bit on there. And then let's test the fastener. That's the button. And let's just test this and see how this will work. So my idea is, depending on how tight you want it, you can tighten it up. Bring it as tight as you want. It's you know, there's nothing there at the minute because there's nothing in it. It's not embellished at all. So I've just got it fairly tight. You know, pulling it very tight together because there's nothing, you know, it's very thin at the minute. There's nothing much in it, but that will change. So yeah, so that's where we are so far. I think that looks really quite good with the button. It's just something different. Again, using up what you've got. I've still got some bits hanging here that I think I'm going to bring over there. I think we'll do that. We'll just finish off on that. I'll do that. Just these are down the spine of the signatures. So I'm going to, and I always leave them hanging over, and then I can decide what I want to do. I'm just wondering, you know, do I need a button? I've got these massive big buttons and they just, oh, they're just calling to me. They really are. Oh, I do like that on there. I like that. And I think I'm going to put a button down there. Do I want just one button? Oh, I've got these really big ones, but these have got the things underneath, so they're no good. But I have got some of those, a couple of those. I might have to think about that, just because I'd need to... Actually, I've got some... Oh, I've got some baker's twine here. I wonder if that'll just go through. It's come unravelled. I wonder if... Oh, I wonder if I can unravel some of that. Oh, the answer to that is yes, I can. Can I get that through these big holes? Let's just see. If I can't, I'll probably have to change direction, but if I can... No, but I might be able to find a big enough needle that I'm not faffing about and taking ages. Let me have a look. I don't know if the big needle will go through the, you know, the hole in the button on camera, really. I don't think you can see what I did there. I just pushing this through here just to thread it through. Just because the eye of this needle is so big, it won't push it through. So I was just trying to make this go in enough so I can pull it through the other side. So I'm just sort of pushing it all in and then hoping I can scoop it through on the other side. It worked better on the other side because the holes are big on the other side, but they go narrower. That's why this needle won't fit through. But so far so good, it's working. It's taking a bit of messing. When you know, when you're not doing stuff off camera, then obviously you can do that, can't you? So what I'm just going to do is I'm going to pull this down. Can you see what I'm doing yet? and then I can cut it off and I can do the other side then. So I need enough just to tie a knot. Let's have a look. I've got very fiddly fingers, so I need enough to be able to tie a knot. So I'll be struggling. Yeah, so when you're going down from this way, it's quite a bit easier because the hole this side is bigger. So you can use the eye of the needle just to push it into the hole. But on the other side, you have to use the sharp needle end. Or actually, I'm going to use the needle end here because it's going to take me forever to get it through. Oh, it's popped out again. It's a bit faffy, this. It's finding a needle eye that I could get all these threads through. That's my problem I'm having, because I'm not very good at threading, you know, thick stuff through. And this is baker's twine, so there was quite a lot of bits, which is what I wanted for this, but oh, I didn't want that. I didn't know what I wanted because I couldn't see it. I didn't know what I had at hand, but I just saw the baker's twine. I've been collecting stuff that's sort of Christmassy and Christmassy colours, and it was still on my desk ready to go in my Christmassy box, ready for my next journal. Go in my project box ready for doing that. But this bit's a bit fluffy. Hopefully I can spare you from watching all this. Obviously my camera's running, so you're seeing everything. Oh, seeing everything. And I'll probably only do one on camera because this is going to take me forever. I used a lot of lace, so I just fancied doing something different. I do love lace. I love wearing lacy things, and I do love lace, but I also like this sort of ruggedy look as well. So my idea on here is just to glue that down and put a button on there. I like that. I don't know whether I'm going to do one on that bottom though. I might put a smaller one on there, but I am going to put that on there. So let me have a look. Oh, that's better. So I've managed to, there was 4 holes, and I've managed to put some, unravel some of this baker's twine, and I've put it around this great big button. I'm just going to stick this bit down, and then my husband's going to be saying, we need to go. So that little boy is going to be in bed before we get him his Halloween present to him. So he's gone to, or was going to, a friend's garden, and they was having an Halloween. So I've just glued that down. I've obviously sewed originally, and then I've just glued that down. I've got a bit of seepage because I did put a lot on. So I'm going to wipe that seepage off, and then somehow or other I'm going to clip this down. I'm not quite sure how I'm going to do that. I might just have to clamp it down a minute. I might have to put something right round it just to hold it in place. I'll tie something round it, and it'll just do that. I'm just going to stick this little bit down, and then I might put a button on afterwards. I'm not quite sure. I think it might need something just to, but I'm not sure what. It certainly doesn't need a big one, but I do like that big button on there. Yeah, and then I'm guilty of over embellishing, so I'm going to try not to go too mad. Just because I've put a button on this side, I did like the idea of the buttons. I'm just going to find one of those salvage pieces, biggish piece if I can. Yeah. Oh, they're coming useful for all sorts of things. Like, I'm just going to put that round there just to tie this button on. Well, this has got numbers on as well. So I'm just going to tie that on there as tight as I can, just to leave that, put some pressure on it, because obviously it being inside the spine, you can't lay something heavy on it. So yes, I've tied that up. It'll just hold it in place long enough just to glue down. As I say, these things come in for all sorts, so don't throw them away if you've got them, because you can use them in lots of ways. So yeah, so I've got my pen in my pocket, I've got my belly band there, I've got my button tie with the hole at the back. That's the back all done. That's the spine with the button that's just sorting, and I did show you the inside. So that's it for now. I'll be back with some embellishments that are going inside. I can decorate the pages and get some embellishments sorted, so that's the next step. So thank you ever so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope you found some interesting bits to have a go at, and I'll be back to you shortly. Bye for now and keep safe. Bye.